the MMRBQ is a week from this Saturday.
Wow. How about that, man?
Which is just mind-boggling. I was thinking about it this weekend, and yeah, it's upon us. We're getting there. We're excited about it, and we're finally meeting this guest in the flesh. We had him on via Zoom.
It's awesome.
Months ago. We had a great time. It was smack dab in the middle of the pandemic, and he was coming to us live from his house, sitting at a piano. Now he's standing before us with a guitar strapped on him. Please welcome from the band Low Cut Connie, Mr. Adam Weiner.
Right. Yo, yo, yo.
Nice to see you, Adam.
I want you to know I learned how to play guitar just for you.
I heard. So you're a piano player.
Yes.
And we don't have a piano here.
Yeah, no, you didn't. So this morning I had to learn. I borrowed a guitar. I took like a quick little tutorial off of YouTube.
All right.
And we're going to see what happens here today.
Do you
love
remember
that.
years ago, maybe you know, but there was Roy Clark had a thing called the Quick Picking, Easy Strumming Home Guitar Course. And you could learn the guitar in like a weekend.
Yeah, well, whatever you hear today is however much you can learn in about 5 minutes.
Hey, you know what, Adam? You said, let's see what happens. And you impressed me as a let's see what happens kind of guy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, you know, rock and roll, you get on stage, people say, you know, like, how'd you do that? Or what's your set list for tonight or whatever? I said, I don't know.
Yeah.
Things just happen.
Yeah. That's like the Chuck Berry way. Chuck Berry was known for just strolling in and going, having a backing band that didn't know anything. I think Bruce Springsteen recounts a story of just going, Chuck came in, we were his backup band. We didn't know what we were going to play. We said, Chuck, what are we playing? He turns to me and goes, we're going to be playing some Chuck Berry songs tonight. All right.
He said,
it's so rock and roll.
He used to say, the bands used to say, can we practice? You know, what key you're going to do it in? And he'd say, do you listen to the radio, son? Yeah. Do you hear Chuck Berry songs? Yeah. Well, that's what we're going to be playing.
I love that. And that seems to embody the spirit of Low Cut Connie. You guys are a go-with-the-flow group, you know?
Absolutely. And, you know, it's been amazing because we've been doing this for 10 years. I live in South Philly here. And for the first 5 years, I was still a teacher.
Yeah.
And 6 years ago, a lot of things conspired, and the band just sort of grew. And all of a sudden, I was ready to do 100 shows a year and travel all over the world and represent Philadelphia rock and roll to people all over the world.
It's great.
And I was already 35, but I took the leap. I quit my job, and here we are.
All right. How tough of a decision was that to make? You know what I mean? Because that's a leap of faith.
What happens is sometimes the world decides for you. And there was so much going on. And I was afraid to take the leap.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden there was so much happening that I said, this is my only shot. This is it. And if I don't take the leap now, it's never going to happen. And so I did. And I don't regret a single day because, you know, I get to travel the world. 100 shows a year, sing my heart out, represent Philadelphia to the world. You know, Elton John's become a fan, and Bruce Springsteen's become a fan, and Howard Stern and Obama and all these people. And I feel like I'm just getting started now. So sometimes you just got to take the leap, you know, to commit to what you really want to do.
Yeah, you absolutely have to. Was there a backup plan? Was it teaching? Fall back on that if you needed to?
I was a teacher.
Yeah.
I wasn't good at it. As you can tell, I didn't like getting up early.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I always would say, you know, sometimes when I get off stage and I've done a 2-hour show and I'm covered in sweat and whatever, I'll say, maybe there's still time to go to law school.
Yeah.
But you know what? I have the greatest job in the world now.
Yeah.
I really do.
You make a good point. It's a point I always say. I try to tell people when they're trying to get into this or whatever is that you got to work towards it, but you also have to train your eyes to look for that sign like this is the path.
Sure.
Because a lot of times it's just going to present right for you, and it's like, okay, I'm going to go with the flow now because this is where everything seems to want to take me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it worked out for you, man. This is, again, you say all these luminaries that you're mentioning who have tied into it. And I mean, in the relative scheme of things, still in your embryonic stages here.
You know, I remember your buddy Pierre Robert was at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame about 4 years ago. And we got asked to play the induction ceremony of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I'd listened to Pierre and you guys growing up. And Pierre... he interviewed me that day and said, "How does it feel to be playing on the same stage as the Cars and all these people?" And I said, I don't know if I belong here, And he said, No, you belong here. You earned it. You're doing it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need the world to remind you, that you're on the right path. And so,
do you think there's something to be said for it? Because we were inducted into the National Radio Hall of Fame, and we went out to the ceremony, and it was very nice.
Mazel tov, Preston and Steve.
Well, and everybody,
we're cavelling about it.
I'll tell you this though. I think if you ever, you should always have a bit of that. Do we really deserve this? Just to keep you.
You got to stay hungry.
Set right, because it's not. Once you say, "Oh, this is," of course, it's a given. I think that's when you're going to start to, be on the downward trend.
Yeah, and whatever you do, you're an actor, you're a painter, you're a singer, you're a dancer, whatever. The next performance you're going to do, you're trying to make it your best one.
Yeah.
And the next broadcast you guys do, you're trying to make it your best one.
Not the next one, but the one after we're thinking is going to be really good.
Not tomorrow.
Not tomorrow.
Tomorrow already.
That's a write-off.
Yeah, I mean, we're legit interviewing a puppet tomorrow.
He's not kidding.
Puppet show and Low Cut Connie.
Wait a second. We were supposed to get top bill.
Oh, that's the best.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I don't know how serious you are about learning the guitar this morning.
Yeah.
That can't be the case, but I mean, how long ago did you pick up the guitar?
Well, for many years, and while I was living in South Philly, and I lived in this place that had no piano. And I had to figure out how to play songs and practice every day because I'm one of these people that practices every day. So I just taught myself chords. And so you know what it is, Casey? It's like I've got one instrument that I can master, and then I've got my little side piece that I'm not very good at, but it's my wild weekend,
right?
If you know what I mean.
I got you.
So I don't actually aspire to be good on the guitar because it's kind of like my little red Corvette weekend getaway.
You want to be functional.
Yeah, I can get by.
Well, my favorite guitarist said that he wishes he would have spent more time on the piano. He can pluck away at it, but he wishes he spent more time on the piano because he thinks it would have made him a better songwriter.
And who would that be?
That's Trey Anastasio. But he's very prolific as far as songwriting is concerned. But do you think you write better music on the guitar or on the piano?
It has to pass the guitar test, if that makes sense. So if you're like Paul McCartney writes a lot of songs on the piano, right? Elton John, obviously. And there's a certain complexity with the piano. You've got 10 fingers. You can play 10 notes at once, right? And you build, things just are naturally more complex. But then if I can pick up the guitar and play it stupid, play a stupid version of it, and the song is still good, then I know I got a winner.
That's a cool litmus test. Yeah.
Because a good song, a 12-year-old boy or girl that just picked up an instrument and goes on TikTok and plays your song for 30 seconds, if it comes across, that's a good song, right?
Yeah.
So you got to take the song and put it under different lenses. And if it passes every test, then you're done. If it doesn't, then you got to go back to the drawing board, if that makes sense.
I think that makes a lot of sense. We talk about it all the time. It's something I've mentioned many times on the show about writing comedy. And you keep whittling away. If you remove this part of it, does it still work? If you remove this word, does it still work? If you remove this comma, does it still work? And you just keep whittling down to the essential because when you can get it in its purest form, that's when it translates to everyone.
Well, it's like recording too, because you can sit in a studio and people who've been in bands know this, and it's being mixed and you're hearing it on these monitors. Go sit in a car and listen to it.
Listen in a car. Listen on little earbuds.
Yep.
Listen in mono, listen in stereo, listen to it across the room, listen to it while you're in the shower and it's across the room. It's got to translate. A great song will resonate in any situation.
Right.
Who do we read about? Who did you report about that specifically had an FM style transmitter?
It might have been Dave Grohl.
Yeah,
I think might have done that.
So they can hear it
in the car.
What it sounds like.
Stevie Wonder was the king of the car test.
Oh yeah.
He can't drive, but he always had a always had a car. Right outside the studio, and they would lead him out, and they would have a little like 87.7 or something
Right.
all the way at the bottom of the dial that they could broadcast just to the parking lot.
Yeah.
So he could listen and hear what it would sound like on AM, basically.
It's great. It's so cool.
know?
Makes sense. All right, well, we want to see how these lessons have paid off.
Oh, my God.
If you don't mind.
I've never been so nervous in my life. I don't know how I'm going to hold it together.
Don't be nervous, Adam. Give us the love. Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Weiner of Low Cut Connie on MMR.
I used to be a soldier. Now I'm getting older. I start to feel so lazy. It starts to make me crazy. Come on, children, pick it up. Let the jerk-offs clean it up. Touch my body, touch my soul. Revolution, rock and roll. But I'm still a loser, and I'm still a boozer, chasing down the dragon, falling off the wagon. Come on, children, stick it up. Let the jerk-offs pick it up. Touch my body, touch my soul. Revolution, rock and roll. Preaching to the choir, jumping to the fire. And if I don't preserve it, then I don't deserve it. Come on, children, light it up. Let the jerk-offs eat it up. Touch my body, touch my soul. Revolution, rock and roll. And I can't explain it, and I can't contain, and I can't be trusted, and I'm still disgusted. Come on, children, rip it up. Let the jerk-offs do their stuff. Touch my body, touch my soul. Revolution, rock and roll. Come on, children, lift it up. Let the jerk-offs clean it up. Touch my body, touch my soul. Revolution, rock and roll. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Adam Weiner on MMR, Low Cut Connie playing the MM Barbecue coming up on the 21st at the Waterfront Music Pavilion. And you will be able to see these guys. And so there's 5 members in the band?
There's 7.
There's 7 members in the band.
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
because I know you, I've seen video
There's been
of you guys
4,
in.
there's been 5, there's been 6, there's been 7.
Okay.
For MM Barbecue, we're going to be 7.
Wow.
Big
That-
stuff, big stuff.
nice.
Oh, yeah.
And getting people dancing, getting people moving. What does that do for you?
Well, you know, my favorite band of all time is the Rolling Stones. I love all kinds of music, but like Rolling Stones are in my bloodstream. And the thing about Keith Richards and the Rolling Stones is the emphasis, like you were talking about Chuck Berry, it's rock, but the emphasis is on roll. So it's edgy music, it's hard-edged music, but you can dance to it. You can do all kinds of things to it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we play this style of rock and roll. It's a little bit throwback. It's modern, but a little bit throwback that people get up and dance.
yeah, I noticed that about, that throwback.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people that do that.
And I was trying to think of, like, boogie woogie was not the right word.
No.
But you know what I mean? There's some of
Sure.
that in there.
Well, when people use the word, there's all math rock,
Yeah.
modern rock, whatever. I always say rock and roll.
Yeah. Pierre would love you for that. He'll probably come in and talk about that as soon as he gets here.
Rock and roll. When people ask me, what kind of music do you guys play? Rock and roll.
Yeah.
And that's, it can be many things. It can be soulful. It can be intense. It can be all kinds of things, but it's rock and roll. The Stones are rock and roll, and we're rock and roll.
Are the Stones revolution rock and roll? Which are they? Because they represented a revolution at one time.
Yeah, like to me, so much of the music that I love and that resonates with me has an edge to it, is provocative, pushes the boundary, but it's also like entertaining, and you can dance to it.
What I got from your song is that and it kind of addressed what you were talking about before, taking a chance, being like getting out there and
yeah,
and that's something, and I love when I see we had. We've had artists recently who are on the younger side, but that are really embracing rock at its purest level, and it's really encouraging to see that.
Absolutely. Like I said before, I was a full-time performer. I was a teacher, and I did teach lessons and on the weekends, and I, about 15 years ago, before I was doing this full-time, I would teach all these 10-year-old girls who were playing guitar and drums and bass and screaming their heads off and had something to say, even at 10 years old. And I said, this is the future of rock and roll right here.
Yeah.
And I say in my song, the song that I just played, Revolution Rock and Roll, come on, children, rip it up. And Rip It Up is a song by Little Richard all the way back to the 1950s. Yeah. And I want to encourage younger generations to get up, lift your voices, break the rules.
Yeah.
That's what we all have to do sometimes with music.
Yeah.
I have a question about writing songs, and I'll bring up my daughter, who's only 14 years old. We were in the car the other day, and she likes, we play music for each other, and I throw her some older stuff, and I said, I want you to listen to this version of Under Pressure. It's David Bowie. It was the tribute to Freddie Mercury, and it was David Bowie and Annie Lennox doing
I love
Under
that
Pressure.
version.
Yeah.
Ooh,
and I told her ahead of time, I'm like, now, while we're listening to this, I'm probably going to cry a little because I get very emotional when I listen to certain songs, and especially when I'm showing someone else the song who maybe hasn't heard it, and I'm telling them a story about it, I start to get a little weepy.
Yeah.
And when you're writing something personal from your heart, from your gut, like the last song we just heard, sounds like it's got that in it. Can you get a little caught up in the emotion of that yourself, even though you've created it?
I mean, if you don't, there's something wrong a little bit.
Yeah.
Because music and all of entertainment is, making somebody else feel something that you feel, whether it's through comedy,
right,
or through acting or through singing. You want to make people feel something. You want them to feel, uplifted, inspired, hilarious, whatever the feeling you're trying to make them feel, right? And if it doesn't resonate with you, if it's not making you feel something, it ain't gonna resonate with other people. Mm-hmm. I don't sit around and cry all day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of the fans of Low Cut Connie that are listening will know that I have all kinds of songs, that are provoking all kinds of different feelings. But if I want to make somebody laugh and it doesn't make me laugh at all, it's not going to be funny.
Right.
It's not going to land. Right.
No, it makes total sense. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, so who's caught your attention these days?
In terms of music?
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's so many, and we do so many festivals all over the world.
Yeah, great place
and I
to see
get to
them.
see so much music, and a lot of great music is international. Like there's a band that I love that's a Puerto Rican group called Combo Chimbita. They're like a psych rock group. The singer's from Colombia. They sing in Spanish, and it's amazing rock and roll.
I don't know what psych rock is.
Psychedelic. Like,
Okay, all right.
Trippy.
Yeah.
Very trippy
gotcha.
with a light show and everything.
Okay.
Which what grabs your attention the most? Is it vocals, guitar, piano?
Listen, I'm a showman, so my heroes in terms of performance, Freddie Mercury, Mick Jagger, Prince,
Jerry Lee,
James Brown.
Yeah.
He's probably the greatest of all time.
Yep.
I love Patti Smith, who's a fellow South Jerseyite like me. People that just get on Iggy Pop, people that get on stage and just go for it 1,000%.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I don't love somebody's records, I will give anybody a chance live. And I've gone to festivals and seen performers where I didn't like their records, and they blew me away live. And then sometimes I love the records, and the band, they just stand there and look at their shoes, and it's like a snooze.
Right.
Well, if I may jump in quickly, so sometimes people they get it out on stage but can't have it translate through the record, and that's got to be that's a tough thing for you to always keep in mind. How do I, because you're so energetic and such a performer, and making sure that that's permeating through the actual listening experience.
I got to see some of my heroes in concert. I saw Iggy Pop. I think I was 20 years old. I saw Iggy Pop. That same summer, I saw James Brown, Bruce Springsteen. When I think I was 18, Patti Smith, all these people. And I have a very short attention span. And the fact that these people, I was like a puppet.
Yeah.
When Iggy Pop is performing, I'm like a puppet. Whatever he tells me to do, I'm going to do. He wants me to scream. He wants me to take my shirt off.
Right.
He wants me to cry.
Yeah.
And Mick Jagger has that. Tina Turner has that. And so that's what I look to when I watch a show, is somebody that commands the audience. And it doesn't necessarily have to be totally frenetic, because, for instance, Roy Orbison, who I think was an amazing singer, he would stand still and open up his mouth, and people, it was like a pin drop in a room. He could command an audience.
Bono's got that presence. He's not necessarily running around, but he's
got that gravitas.
He's got that command,
Sometimes you see a performer and it looks like they don't really want to be there, or they're just sort of punching the clock.
Right.
And to me, it's like, why are we here?
Yeah.
You know, people spend their hard-earned money, and they want to let loose. They want to forget their stresses. They want to forget what's going on in the world. They want to sweat. They want to cry. They want to make out with somebody. They want to have the best night of their life.
Yeah.
That's your job.
Yeah.
So that's what we try to do.
Low Cut Connie is playing the MMRBQ. Adam Weiner, if you're just tuning in. I didn't ask you ahead of time. I'm sorry. Were we going to get another song, or was it just
Only
the one
if you
today?
want to.
Pretty please.
Oh, my God.
Is
just
the
for you.
request. All right. Thank you.
Can I do something new?
Yeah, man. Whatever you want.
All right.
The mic is yours.
We're going to put a new album out next year. I just finished it. The album's called Art Dealers. We're actually doing a film as well. We just shot a film, concert film, and this is called Are You Gonna Run?
All right. Low Cut Connie, Adam Weiner on MMR.
When the chips are down, we lay it on the line. Are you gonna run? Are you gonna run from it, baby? If the words don't come, take a little time. Are you gonna run? Are you gonna run from it, baby? Oh, my love, why won't you tell me how it's gonna go? Tell me now, why won't you say what I already know? Will you move away when I start getting old? Or are you gonna run? Are you gonna run from it, baby? Oh, my love, why won't you tell me how it's gonna go? Tell me now, why won't you say what I already know? What you feel for me, let your feelings show. Are you gonna run? Are you gonna run from it, baby? And if our time is done, will you pull away so slow? Or are you gonna run? Are you gonna run from it, baby? Yeah. Are you gonna run? Are you gonna run?
Yeah. Oh,
Great stuff.
that is beautiful. Not to draw comparisons, but that's got a like a Stand By Me vibe to it. I
Sure.
love that, dude.
Nothing wrong with that.
That is fantastic.
That was a
wow.
bit of a hit.
So that's coming out when?
I think we're gonna put that song out this fall.
Okay.
You're hearing it here first. This was a premiere. It's the first time I did it.
World premiere.
We're gonna put that song out this fall, and then the album Art Dealers is gonna come out next year with this concert film that we just made called Art Dealers. So next year's gonna be a big year for Low Cut Connie for sure.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming by.
Hey, thank you.
And listen, may I say, the lessons paid off. You did. That was.
All right.
I mean,
Yeah.
with
Next time
5 minutes of training.
Next time I'll learn a B7th chord, or maybe a minor chord or something for you.
change it up
Just
a
for
little bit.
you.
If you could give us the link to that YouTube video, we'd like to learn as well.
Yeah, I want to learn how to play guitar.
Play with you when you come back.
Absolutely.
No, listen, we're excited about the show. MM Barbecue, May 21st, a Saturday. We're looking forward to outdoor music.
It's going to be a blast.
Doing
we
it
haven't,
again.
and we have to get together. It's time to get together.
Yep.
And when we get out there on the stage, I'm going to say, "Yo, New Jersey." And everybody's going to, "Ooh, here we go." So I can't wait to see all those radio listeners out there at the MM Barbecue. It's going to be a blast.
And a
Love you all.
reminder, wear your dancing shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. All right. Thanks for coming by, Adam. Great to
you,
see you.
fellas.
Adam
Thank
Weiner,
you.
guys. Low Cut Connie.